Alright, let's continue the trial. Court will now reconvene. The killer, the man who murdered the victim, handed this to his client. From this, one obvious question arises. Why this particular item? I believe the answer to that question will be provided us with the name of the real criminal. Now then, the prosecution calls the defendant's manager, Adrian Andrews, to the stand. Her. Currently, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you have been called to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder. I understand. Very good. Now, have you ever seen this bear before, Miss Andrews? Of course I have. You have seen it before? That's right. It's only natural that the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten the court to this bear's secret? Alright. Why does she? I'll tell you about the bear figurine. Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. At its center is a small cavity, with just enough room to store a small item. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. And you really can't tell that it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it. So this figurine, it's a container of sorts, is it? Yes. Look can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree? Yes, this is superb craftsmanship. Oh, yes, I nearly forgot. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. It looks like there really was something into that bear after all. Alright, let's see if we can figure out more about this bear. Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. You bet this game is. A puzzle? That's right. But if it looks like an ordinary figurine. True enough. To people who don't know, I'm sure they would never guess that this was a puzzle. So what kind of puzzle is this exactly? If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. So you can take it apart? And how would one go about doing so? Well, you would turn its tail to the right and then push it in. Oh, yes, I see. After that, the arms and legs are free to move and can be removed. Oh, this is most interesting. Boy and his new toy. It's like he's 5 all over again. Oh, don't mind me. Go ahead and carry on. I think he's lost it. So what do you find after you take the puzzle apart? At its center is a small cavity with just enough room to store a small item. And how do you know about this? I know because I was the one who bought it. Huh? It was a souvenir from a friend, from when a friend and I went to Switzerland. Then this was a present from you? That's right. It was a puzzle in the shape of a bear, so I thought it would be perfect for one. So it was a present from Miss Andrews. Witness, let's continue with your testimony. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. She knows the order? So who exactly knew how to solve this puzzle? Only the two of us, Juan and myself. It was a souvenir from Switzerland. So I doubt there are many people with the same bear in this country. But this looks like it can be easily broken. Especially if someone wanted to get what was inside. Well, it's a toy. But it can never be the same again once it's been broken. You really can't tell that it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it. Jewelry box? Who else knows that this bear is actually a small container, or jewelry box? I never told anyone. And as long as Juan never told anyone either, then only the two of us knew. The two of you, huh? Then of course that means Mr. Enguarde didn't know, right? I think this is about all I'm gonna get for now. Oh, well, at least we know more about this figurine. Well, Mr. Wright, I think even you have come to realize... Huh? But there is one very important fact we've uncovered, and that is this. The bear is actually a jewelry box. Now that we have agreed to this point, there is only one logical question that can come next, and that is this. What is inside this box? What's inside? That's right. That's what we are going to find out next. Witness? Yes? You are the only one who can open this. Please. There's a painful silence hanging over the courtroom. All eyes are on Miss Andrews now as she solves the puzzle and takes the bear apart. I've opened it. Is this what you wanted? What is that? It looks like a note. I don't think we need to guess what this is. Do we, Mr. Wright? That is it's the suicide note. The suicide note? The suicide note left by Juan Corda's former manager, Celeste Impacts. Until now, no one knew of its whereabouts. But just as we suspected, it was hidden. Hidden by the victim, Juan Corda himself. It seems Celeste Impacts had very beautiful handwriting. And she was just as beautifully signed her own name on this document. This is most definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide. Order! Witness! Did you know about this? Yes, I did. I heard about it all from Juan. When I discovered his body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it became public. But I couldn't find it anywhere. Because it had already been taken by the killer. Everything is going at Mr. Edgeworth's pace. So now the suicide note has been found, what's the next logical question? What's written on the note? That's right. At least, that's what I would think. Now then, I believe it is only appropriate the contents of this note be made known. I can't stop you, can I? I went through so much just to get my hands on it. I was going to burn it for her sake. I'm deeply sorry, but I can't allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honor, if you could please read the contents of this note aloud. Very well. The judge's voice rang loud and clear through the dead silent courtroom. In her note, Celeste Impacts left us a record of all that had happened to her. About being used and then thrown away by Enguarde. About being engaged to Corda, and Enguarde's role in destroying that. And about how she decided, in her despair, to end it all. And that's all Miss Impacts had to say. This is one thing I would like to say here. The prosecution has no interest in slandering Mr. Enguarde. Then, what? Our intention, Your Honor, is to establish a motive for murder. Isn't that correct, witness? Yes. On the night of the murder, Juan was going to make the contents of that note public. After the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference. My word! Matt Enguarde values above all else his refreshing like a spring breeze image. Which is why he had to stop this note from being made public. At any cost. Well, now that we have this note, this is bad. It's Enguarde's fault that woman had killed herself. At this time, he even went as far as to kill someone to stop him from revealing that. What terrible! What a selfish person! I guess there are slimeball lawyers out there who will defend these creeps too. There is no margin for doubt here. Mr. DeKiller's client's goal was to obtain this suicide note. And the only person who needed this note that badly is the defendant. Let's not forget that the bearer of the note inside was found at the defendant's house. It seems that we have come to the truth at last. The defendant's motives were entirely selfish. He deserves no sympathy from anyone. How am I supposed to escape from this one? Why the hesitation, Phoenix? Gumshoe hasn't called yet, so you know what you must do. I know. I have to carry on to buy him some more time. Okay, There's two deadly pieces of evidence here. The figurine and the suicide note. Maybe somehow I can find a way out of this situation through one of those. The gavel is already in the judge's hand. Phoenix, hurry! The suicide note or the figurine? Which one of these should I pursue? Okay, the figurine. Only Corda and Andrews knew how to open this. But Mr. Enguarde didn't. But this is a suicide note. It tells of Enguarde's horrible misdeeds. We could pursue the suicide note. Because the figurine... Okay, that's a figurine, but whatever. I gotta follow the suicide note. It's my only chance. Please wait, Your Honor! Oh man, look at that lawyer. He's just still going at it. It's like he doesn't care that he's trying to get a killer off the hook. I think Your Honor believes that Matt Enguarde killed in order to obtain this note. Yes, that's correct. But that seems a little strange. In fact, I think there's a contradiction here. This note was hidden by Mr. Corda until the night of the murder. If that is the case, I'd say that Matt Enguarde could not have known what was written on this note. Oh! I didn't think of that way. Mm-hmm. Exactly. But I did think of it that way, and I thought it was rather strange. No one in their right mind would kill for a note without first knowing what it said. Order! 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 You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? It was just a flash, but I think I did rather well in this one. Unfortunately, I think he believes differently. I believe a show of appreciation is in order. Huh? The defense seems to be in love with wishing more despair upon itself. I would like to direct the court's attention to this. Well, what is that? This is a very small video camera, Your Honor. This type of camera is commonly used as a means of spying. Spying? What the? I thought that spy camera was in my possession. Matt Enguarde and the victim both thought of the other as their biggest rival. They even went so far as to use this type of item to find each other's weaknesses. And the victim, Juan Corda, was being spied on. His personal life was being watched by none other than Matt Enguarde. Oh, he knew that too. Order! Order! Mr. Wright! Yes, Your Honor? You don't tell me you knew about your client's spying activities. Well, sort of. Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright. I see you are confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking, but I have the camera that was in the stuffed bear's eye. But this camera that I have is not the same one. Last night, I searched the victim's house on a hunch, using this Gumshoe's bug sweeper. By the way, Mr. Wright, the defendant's fingerprints were found on this camera. What, some guy's fingerprints were on there? Well, Phoenix, it looks like those cameras are hidden all over the place, huh? What am I supposed to say to that evidence? I think this is the end. It's fairly obvious that Mr. Enguarde learned of the suicide note through this. He was watching the victim all along. He got me good this time. I don't have anything to counter that. Hey, what's the lawyer thinking? Mommy, is that man a bad killer guy? Shh, stop! Don't look at him! The way he's sweating is just so nasty. Phoenix? Yes, Chief? Have you figured out what you're going to do next yet? What I'm going to do next? Does running away like a frightened child work? I know it seems like Mr. Edgeworth is very close to putting the lid on this case, but in his eagerness to prove his point, he forgot one very important thing. Well, what is it, Mia? There's a piece of evidence that he really should investigate. Something he should investigate? I would really hate to see a good prosecutor get scolded. But for not remembering to look into an item when he had the chance. Why are you speaking in riddles all of a sudden? Alright, I think this time we finally understand everything. Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections, do you? What is this piece of evidence that Mia's talking about? Can I figure out what it still needs to be looked at? Or should I let it go? No, there has to be something. Something he didn't look at. The transmitter? No. Receipt. Wow. Enguarde mansion? A figurine. He wouldn't know how to open it. He wouldn't know. Oh, he saw it be opened, so. Or he knows the note exists. But he doesn't know this happens. He doesn't know this exists. So, wait, what can I get out of him with this? And the suicide note. We literally haven't been able to check it, so. I have an objection, Your Honor. That was about the weakest objection I've ever heard, Mr. Wright. Objection! Your Honor! The defense has no intentions of letting this go so easily. You're beginning to sound desperate. This is just your imagination, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, this is not like you at all. In your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing. Hey, isn't that what I just said? So, you're telling me that I forgot something? You're so close, Mr. Edgeworth. But there's something you really should examine about this piece of evidence. Something he needs to examine. With love, Celeste, found at Enguarde's mansion. He never examined this, but that's fine. I think maybe he needs to examine the note, because I think he really needs to examine this note, because he never really got to look at it before. At least, he read it, yes, but it could be false. And I don't think there's anything left in that figurine. I don't think there's any, but there might be. No, there's nothing left in that figurine. And what about this photo? This photo. These are going to be the only ammo I have right now. But no, doesn't make sense. Yes! It has to be the note, because let's see. He never got a chance to examine this. He doesn't know, and this doesn't help me anyway. This figurine's already figured out. But he didn't examine the note. As a prosecutor, it's a prosecutor's job to check this stuff. Is that Mr. Ampax's suicide note, right? Who knows? Huh? I mean, sure, this suicide note was found inside this bear. But this bear was in my possession until a few moments ago. Which means the handwriting of this suicide note has yet to be analyzed. Oh! So, as to whether this pivotal piece of evidence is really written by Miss Impax or not, has yet to be even remotely confirmed. But Mr. Wright, you can't seriously be suggesting, Mr. Wright! Are you saying the suicide note is a fake? Mr. Andrews, you were the one who tried to pin this murder on Mr. Enguarde. Who's to say you didn't create a fake suicide note to put in this bear? How dare you! Your Honor, the defense is indiscriminately accusing the witness again! There was no evidence linking the witness to this suicide note whatsoever! But if this is fake, then the witness is the only person who could have made it! What? Recall the witness's testimony concerning this figurine. The only person other than the victim who could solve the puzzle was the witness herself! Miss Andrews, you wrote this note, didn't you? You wrote it so you could use it to frame Matt Enguarde! I did no such thing! Right! If you're going to pronounce this suicide note a fake, then show in this court some evidence to support your theory! Mr. Edgeworth, you are the one who presented this scrap of paper as evidence! That means that the burden of proof lies with you, the prosecution! That's enough! Mr. Edgeworth, can you confirm the handwriting on the suicide note? It is as the defense stated. The handwriting is yet to be analyzed. If that's the case, it seems that yet again we have reached a point where a verdict is impossible. That's impossible! This isn't good, Phoenix. The judge is going to carry this trial over one more day. I don't think I will physically be able to make it another day. I didn't want to have to do this, but I don't have a choice. I request that both the prosecution and defense further investigate handwriting analysis. My butt, that's just the lawyer trying to buy more time. Enguarde is guilty! Look, any idiot can tell you that. I think we've reached the end of the line. Guilty! 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 What is that sound? It's Gumshoe! Hello? Gumshoe? What's with him? What's with that sigh? Where's Maya? What happened to the killer? He got away. What?! I'm sorry, pal! I really am! I don't know what to say besides I'm sorry! I wish there was some way to make it up to you, I really do! Anyway, what's going on? You found his hideout, pal. But the two of them were already gone. This is terrible. I'm going to keep looking for them, pal. Don't you worry. I just need a little more time. But don't tell me we don't have any more. Guilty, 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 guilty. Do you hear that? They're calling for his head. Mr. Wright, I can't for us to come this far and... Oh! What is it? Let me talk to Mr. Edgeworth. I can't do that! Mr. Wright, would you please get a hold of yourself? Yes, Your Honor. I'm about to end today's proceedings. You may take your phone calls after... Hold on, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, catch! Mr. Edgeworth! Please, you've got to buy us some more time! Court is in session. I'm sorry, Your Honor. You were saying? Mr. Wright, this is the court of law. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I am reluctant to do this. However, it appears that I have no choice but to suspend proceedings until tomorrow. This time I really can't do anything. Court is now adjourned for the day. Huh? Please wait, Your Honor. Edgeworth? What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I humbly request another 30 minutes of Your Honor's time. For what purpose? We can perform the necessary tests of this piece of evidence in that time. But can you really obtain your results in 30 minutes? I believe we can, Your Honor. But wouldn't it be better off if we adjourn for today and then we convene tomorrow? 30 minutes! Please, Your Honor. That's all I am asking for. Please, Your Honor! Very well. At the prosecution's request, this court will now take a 30-minute recess. But be advised that I will not allow another recess today. I'm not sure if this is helping or hurting us. The court will now take its final recess for the day. Oh gosh. Right. Well, what's going on with my situation? The killer. It looks like he got away again. 30 minutes? We can't find her in that time. Ugh. Rapport! Oh, is this Mr. Edgeworth? We don't have time! Just spit it out!
Right! It looks like we just missed him, sir. But the killer left a few things behind by accident in his rush to get away.
A few things? Can we use any of them as evidence?
I figured you'd ask, pal. I've got the things he left for me right now. I'm on my way over.
Really? That's odd. Any items like that are usually sent to the crime lab first.
We don't have time to wait for those guys, sir. When those guys weren't looking, I swiped the stuff and ran.
What?
Well, I'm not a detective anymore, so I had to. I'm really sorry, sir, but I gotta put the law on hold for now.
Sounds bad. I hope he doesn't get in too much trouble over this.
With my hunk of junk car, I'd say I'd get there in 20 minutes, sir. Don't worry, I'll be there. Wait for me.
Alright, just get here in one piece.
I'm on a mission and no one can stop me, sir. No one! I'm pulling out all the stops and running every red light.
Items left by the murderer. Huh? Maybe there's something among them that will be decisive enough to end this. Hey, what's wrong? Detective Gumshoe, answer me!
No one can stop. I'm...
What happened? It sounded like he had an accident. I'm guessing his cell phone broke as well. What was he thinking? Gotta hurry and call for help. But we have no idea where he is. His cell phone was broken, and he wasn't driving a patrol car, so no radio either. Also, if we don't get to those items before they do, the police will take possession of them. No! We can't let that happen! Well, if there is a way we can to find out where he is, then we stand a chance. Why did Gumshoe have to get into that accident now? Is there any way to find out exactly where he is at this moment? Come on, which way do I find out what Gumshoe is? Yes! That's right! There is a way! What? How? I'm sure we can find out where Detective Gumshoe is through this! It's through... this! Why are you bringing up Francisca at a time like this? Oh, I see. I'll try to get in contact with her. The chances are slim, but she'll all we have. Francisca. Will she even want to help us? Edgeworth. What is it? I don't have any right to judge anyone ever again. I know my client is guilty. But what I'm doing now, I'm pinning the guilt onto someone totally innocent and using evidence to do so. It might be my turn to say, defense attorney thinks Wright chooses death. Right. It doesn't suit someone like you to cry useless tears. Whether you did your job well or not. That can only be seen after the verdict has been decided. The verdict? Is Prosecutor Edgeworth here? Yes, Bailiff. There's a phone call for you, sir. He said it was extremely urgent. They're probably finished with the handwriting analysis. I have to go take this call. In the meantime, think hard about what it is you must do. Gumshoe. Well, he'll be fine. He's a tough guy. He's been through a lot of stuff. Okay. I don't know how I survived all of that. But all I gotta do is just get to the end, right? This is Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. Let's go for it, full speed. See you next time.